So now that I have this mic, I can feel like I got a little more freedom to do some stuff. Like if this out of my way here, I can just be like, oh shit, I don't got no cords. I don't got no fucking cords. So like if I turn around and talk, I'll still fucking talk. I like it. Welcome back to another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. My name is Jaime, and what I like to do here, if you're new to the channel, is give my crazy thoughts and opinions on news all across the globe. And sometimes I like to connect them to conspiracies because lately, man, it's like we're undefeated right now. We're like undefeated. Conspiracies are like getting it. You know, they got a winning record right now this season. It's awesome. But let's get on with some headlines. You know, we got some crazy headlines out here. So Whoopi Goldberg is catching some backlash over a statement she made on The View. You notice like when it's people of professional area, like when they're in trouble, they say the word backlash. They don't say like if it was just a normal person, it would just be in trouble. Like somebody's in trouble. But when you're famous, they're like, you're getting backlash. I kind of find that a little biased. Well, let's take a look at the clip.
I'm sorry, but where the Iranian regime is today in 2025 is nothing compared to the United States.
Hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step foot during this outfit.
Wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit in Toronto.
I'm sorry.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
So it's pretty interesting there. That's a pretty good debatable topic, I'm sure. Like I'm sure a lot of people are talking about that one back and forth, or keeping your mouth closed. I mean, that could be some thin tissue there to step on, you know. But we'll have to stay close and see what happens. Definitely, as some updates come up, I'll definitely drop some as soon as we get to those. And in some local Michigan news, in Southgate, Michigan, 2 police officers were shot, and they had like a shelter in place for like it was for like a few hours, you know, while this manhunt took place. And it was crazy because it happened really close to where I live. And so everybody was kind of nervous and getting, you know, not to know what's going on. You could hear helicopters really low to the ground. The news was kind of giving you the play-by-play. And the good news is both officers are doing well, and they're apparently in good spirits, and the suspect is in custody. Tensions are rising overseas as other countries are starting to clash. And some people are getting anxious. Some are looking for resolutions, and some of them are wondering if we're going to have more tensions start to escalate. People are getting unstable. They're unsure. Nobody knows what's happening, and there's a little bit of impatience on all sides. People are looking for some answers from whatever the questions they might be raising, and it's getting a little unstable out there. And I'm wondering if there ever be will a resolution ever be found? I'm hoping that everyone can find a way to set aside these like old ways of conflict and find new ways and develop better ways of maybe resolutions or answers. But apparently, I feel like that's really far-fetched in a way because it's something that will be hard to accomplish when it seems like no matter what side you're on or what level of society or what status you might live in, I feel like most of this stuff is all based off of money. So when like money happens to be in play, I don't think anybody's morals, people's safety, people's well-being, you know, maybe that might be the same category. But I feel like it doesn't go into play when these people got money involved. I mean, look at California. California is a very large economy, a very giant state. It's one of the biggest states in the country. And they're having a lot of trouble out there. For some reason, everything costs a lot. They always get burned. Like now there's riots, you know, it's like riots 2.0, like, you know, and it's like a lot of crazy things are going on over there, and there's a lot of tensions raising. Like, well, and then other places as well. Like they're really quick to maybe get angry at things real quick, get jarred up and excited and start destroying things. But can we find a way? Will there be a way where this stuff could be a thing of the past, or will we stay in these old ways? Will we stay locked in? You know, will we stay locked into this craziness? You know, you're hearing updates where the president's possibly approving attacks. They're talking about the theory where the soldiers are getting steak and lobster, and I guess it's like code for that means they're about to go to war when they all get steak and lobster. And then they're talking about the pizza deliveries. When they're getting pizzas delivered to the Pentagon at all hours, that means that these guys are in the war room and like stuff's about to go down. Like people start paying attention to all these things, and that could also escalate some things. Like it could, you know, escalate some of that anxiety out there, some of the instability, and you know, and things like that. could rise some things where people could do some desperate moves because they're not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. But then sometimes some other people are in a place where they're not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. Then the alarm clock goes off, and you got to get up and go to work. It's like, damn it, but what was going to happen? So it's crazy. It's crazy options, crazy possibilities. But I'm hoping that we find a way to find some good ways. It's very far-fetched, like I said, because money seems to be driving it all. And I get mad at whoever decided to make things cost money. Whoever that person was in the beginning. I mean, I brought it up before in like other podcasts. Like whoever that person was in history that was like, look, I have to give you this for this. It could have been just stayed at bartering and trading. But then somewhere along the line, it was like a chunk of steel got involved, and it turned into some paper. Kind of weird. But whoever that person is, I'm going to fight you because I don't like your ways. And things have never been the same. They literally put, in God we trust on the dollar. What kind of faith does that give you? The dollar supposedly isn't as powerful as the dollar people think. Or are people just crazy on the internet? That could be all these options. Sometimes, like the people on the internet seem really crazy. And then sometimes they make a lot of sense. Be like, man, that was crazy, but damn, I agree. You don't know where to go with it. But it's there. And that's where they're looking for resolutions. But in a crazy way. No, that's what bothers me a lot. On a serious note, I know I was just ranting on a little silliness, but on a serious tip, I understand, people are doing this and, enjoy putting out stories and things like that. And some people are putting out really, stories that could get people scared and afraid. I like to have fun with conspiracies and some scary stories here and there, but I don't know if my delivery is good enough to put fear in people, but I do have fun telling the story, that's for sure. But sometimes I feel like the stories come out too quick before they could find out if it was now, if you're getting those AI and the AI prompts. I mean, there's all these new videos out again, like with these, that you got to be careful what you're hearing on the news now. It's really creepy. And I feel like there's some things we're going to have to start taking notes on. I think we'll be able to take, there'll be more definitive ways to tell when it's AI. And I got some of the ways right now, like I feel like they talk too perfect, and the audio, it's probably listening to me right now. They're going to try to fix this because the audio is just way too different than when we use a camera production, or we're using a camera phone, or we're using a digital camera, or like a DSLR, or using different type of video stuff, or webcam. There's a certain texture, there's a certain grade. So when you're looking at certain videos, you're looking at them, they do a great job, but there's those things right there where there's that little too much smoothness right there, or that audio is just like, really, man, what are you using to get that kind of sound? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you in a studio in a green screen? Because damn, you just got everybody blocked off, or the people in the background was just a little too perfectly mixed evenly in the audio, things like that. People are good at catching way better things than me. That, like, when people watch like those Marvel Easter eggs, when Marvel movies were good, when people cared about it, they'd be like, damn, did you see that when you pause it right now in the 14/6 of the frame? Like, there's a fucking villain right there. People do that shit. And we need to do it more, like, to get more facts out, if you ask me. Well, I won't keep your time anymore. My name is Jaime, and this has been another episode of Meant to Vent Podcast News. Till next time. See ya. I'm so used to pushing the mic now. What do I do here? I don't know. But I'll see you next time.